Welcome to art school.
Hello everybody, this is Wayne Carnegie coming to you again with another tutorial in the Maya to Substance Painter Texturing 10-week sprint. Last week we covered clean typology, we covered the naming convention for shaders, and today we're going to check on UV. If you're not familiar with UV mapping, uh, you can look it up. This is going to be a bite-sized video, so we don't want to get into too much uh, information regarding that. But um, your homework would be to read up what I meant by UVs in 3D. Anyway, so as we look at this coffee grinder asset, I'm going to go to my modeling module here, and I'm going to check UV, and I'm going to go to UV editor. These are all my UVs on it so far for the metal parts, and these are my UVs for the wooden part. Now, I would like to show you how to do a quick little UV on these. So I'm going to delete these. I'm going to edit. You don't have to do this, but I'll be just showing you a quick little UV, how I UV stuff. So I'm going to delete. Like that. So now there's no UVs on there. Okay. So now I'm going to just, I usually put, if I'm working on one screen, I usually put my UV window here, and I also have like a space where I can look at my model and see what is going on there. Okay. All right. Cool. So first up is the wooden part. So I'm going to isolate it, and I'm going to go to. Actually, I'm going to select both of them like so. I like to do this. This is my style. So I like to go to UV, planar project, option box, and I like to go to edit, reset. Then I like to turn on keep image width height ratio, and I want to turn on camera project and hit apply. It scales everything uniformly within this, and I could right click, go to UV shell, select this, press W to move tool, and I could move stuff away like that. See that? See that stuff? Right? Cool. That's the reason why I do it like that. Okay, so now I'm going to right click and go to update mode here. I'm going to select the wooden parts, and I'm going to right click. The wooden parts are planar surfaces, so I'm going to show you one thing, except this piece here. This piece is not planar surfaces. So I'm going to just right click, go to faces, select everything here. Then I'm going to quickly go here and do an automatic map. Okay, cool, great. Then I'm not just going to leave this like this because we're working in animation and we're not working in video games. So we could keep these pieces more resolution that they truly deserve. Think of this coffee grinder as a high-end coffee grinder. I'm going to right click and go to edges, and I'm simply just going to click here a loop at the bottom. I'm going to right click and hold, right click, shift right click and hold, and go to cut. Then I'm going to click one of these down the side, shift right click and cut. Then I'm going to right click, go to use shell, select the shell, go over here, and then I'm going to unfold it. See that? Beautiful. Now, if you're being too picky, you could get this more straighter, but I'm not going to be that picky. I'm just going to leave it at edit. I'm going to go right click, go to edge, select an edge here, right shift right click and hold it, move and so. So we're left down here with these guys here. Okay, well, you could choose to stitch a few of these together if you want. So I'm going to right click, go to edge, select highlight an edge like so, shift right click and so, move and so. Highlight this edge, shift right click and so, move and so forth, and so forth. Shift right click, select the edge. See that? shift right click and hold it, moving so. Oh no, this is good. So you could take this piece and just move it off to the side right now. Let's move on to our next piece. Right click and highlight this edge. Shift right click, moving so. Highlight this edge again. Shift right click, moving so. No, just highlight this part here. Shift right click, moving so. Shift right click, moving so. And then when you select that edge, it highlight with that. I mean, that part is good. So I'm gonna go right click, go to shell, set the shell, and let's kind of just move this over here for now. We can move this guy over here too because it's kind of done. We're not really packing it just yet. We're just moving it out of the way as we kind of organize this stuff. You could have just left it if you want, just like this, because really we're just gonna put like a wooden texture on here. But if you want to be very picky, we could get away with. We could do the proper way, the harder way. So I'm gonna right click, UV shell, move, right click, UV shell, and put this down here. Shift right click and hold, UV shell, and right click, go UV shell here. Shift right click and hold, edge. Right click and hold, move it so. Shift right click and hold, moving so. Shift right click, go here, and we could select this and put this over here. And you see, we're making progress so far, right? So right click and go to edge. Shift right click and hold it, moving so. Shift right click and hold, moving so. And then last but not least, select this piece, shift right click and hold, moving so. And I think this piece here is done. Okay. And I'm gonna go to I could sit. I think. Okay, I'm not gonna be lazy and try to stitch a few more of them together. Right click, go to shell edges. Shift right click, moving so. Shift right click, moving so. How about this? Shift right click, moving so. Okay, so that part there is good. How about up here? Oh yeah. Can we? Shift right click and move it so. Can we? Yes. So this piece here is done. We're making progress. We're making progress, guys. I'm very happy. So there's little pieces here. One thing about wooden texture, they all have to be flowing in a particular direction. So that's like a key thing when it comes to wood grain, right? You can't have them, the UV shell. These are UV shells, by the way. You can't have them like all going into different directions. So I'm going to rotate this E key, use my E key and rotate it and move it. And I'm also going to rotate these guys too, just like so. And I'm also going to, looks like it, is it rotated? No, I'm going to rotate it. So kind of want them in the same direction. So because wood is kind of like that, it's this way. All of them can be like all over the place, right? So I'm going to grab all these. I'm going to actually, there's a couple things I want to do. I'm going to select here. And I want this to be a particular size. So I'm thinking I'm going to scale this up a little bit. All right. Because I want all the resolution. I'm going to use this thing called UDIMs. And I want to maximize the UV space. So I'm going to go over here to transform. Click on get. And then I'm going to select everything else here. I'm going to go right click, go to faces, select here. And I'm going to press set. Okay, great. See that? I'm also going to do the set thing for here because I want it to be the same resolution. And now I could just manually go in and start. Obviously, I could lay them out, but don't want to do that. So let's take that guy, that here, take that, and put that over here. Like that. So instead of stucking them in one, UV quadrant, like in the video game, we don't have to because we have UDIMs. We're doing this for animation. We're not doing this for video game. Okay. if you were doing this for a video game, you'd have to do this thing called a texture set. So yeah, I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do a layout, arrange a layout with these pieces here, and I'm going to do a set like so and move these off. Okay, including that piece. Oh, no, yeah, so everything. I could just scale these in. I know it's not the prettiest, but I think we got everything there. We could even like use up some of these spaces too if we wanted. We can. It's just take work, and I don't. I want to keep this. I want to keep this tutorial short. Okay. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and stack this together, and I'll be right back. Thank you for waiting. So as you can see, everything is stacked within the 0 to 1 space. Nothing is going over the line. If anything is going over the line, these lines here and that line here, Substance Painter will reject your 3D asset. Okay. No, there's another 3D package out there, 3D texture painting package out there called Mari. If these were sneaking over the line, Mari doesn't care as long as they're not like down here, and whatnot. But like if they were going over the quadrant lines, it would be okay. But in our case with Painter, you just have to be in the 0 to 1 space. So this wooden part here is done. Okay. So now let's go on to the metal piece. So here we go. I'm going to isolate the metal piece here. And I am going to just go in here and right click, go to edge, select the edge, shift right click and hold, cut. And I'm gonna, you notice like this bottom piece doesn't have any like bottom there, so I could easily get away with something like this, like select that, unfold. There you go. See that? Quickly. Obviously it does have like a cylinderish shape. I could have gone that way, but hey, anything for something quick for this tutorial. So we have this piece here. This piece here is very simple. It's a cylinder. So right click, go to edge, click one of these edges here, right click, cut, right click, go to shell, select it, unfold. So what we got? Hopefully this doesn't crash the scene. Whoops. It's a big one. Okay. I think I could cut this up. So I'm gonna right click, select here, cut. I could cut this up. It's a big piece. So I'm gonna select edge, shift right click and hold, cut. Come up here, another piece, shift click and hold, cut. And I think that's it. Oh, we could give it one more cut here. No, not down there, across here. Cut. And we could take this and I'm gonna just move these pieces here. Grab these pieces here and I could just do an unfold. And I could do a layout too if I wanted. And I could do orient shell it. And we could just have this over here for now. No, these are metal pieces, so it doesn't really care which direction they're going. It's just that the wood grain one we did earlier, it has to be in a specific location. So these pieces are unfold, and I'm very happy. Okay. Here's another piece. We could just run and unfold on that. There we go. All right, here we go. We got this piece here. Looks like we could run another unfold on that guy. Put that over here. Okay, we got a couple of these. Yeah, we could run some unfold. So this unfold. Put that over there. How about these guys here? Yes. It's a tricky piece, but I'll get to it. So like these pieces here, you cannot just unfold it but this you can. Okay. All right. Cool. Unfold. There you go. And if you don't feel good unfolding, you can right click and you can figure out. I'll just leave it. You could cut it and make it like a cylinder shape, but I'm not gonna do that for this tutorial. I'm just showing you how to do like some quick UVs and vertical cut. Let's do unfold. There we go. The orient shell with that. Move that over there. Edges. Cut this. Shift right click hold. Cut. Edge. Unfold. Pieces. We could put that over there. We got this guy here. Cut. Shift right click hold. No. Shift right click hold. Cut. Shell. Unfold. This. You could go back here. You cut here. No, this one. Cut. And right click, go to shell, and unfold. There we go. Alright, move it over here. W. Put that over there. Here, you could, I wonder if I could unfold. Let's see, yeah. It's a similar kind of piece. Yeah, metal texture will run right over it anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and like kind of unfold these pieces and then I'll get right back. Okay, cool. So I managed to unwrap most of the metal pieces here. For this guy, just gonna just lay it out like that. I don't think I need a lot of UDIMs for this part. I'll make sure it's scaled in a little bit there, and there you go. All right, cool. So that means that we got UVs on the metal pieces, and we have UVs on the wooden pieces. And then we lay out the wooden pieces in a UDIM kind of format. What is UDIM? If we should go to the internet and look up what is UDIMs. So UDIMs is a standard where U dimension is a UV mapping and texturing technique used for 3D graphics to manage high resolution texture instead of cramming a 3D model into the single square 0 to 1 grid. UDIM allow artists to spread textures across multiple tiles, each assigned a unique 4-digit code 1001, 1002. We'll see how this thing goes in action in later lessons. But for now, our assets is UVs. And another thing I like to bug my students about. Here's another thing I like to bug my students about. Once you've done UV unwrapping, make sure you select everything. You see all this information over here? You need to go to Edit, Delete by Type, History. Wipe that out. Then you can go File, Save. Alright, so please join me for the next lesson. And thank you for watching. Take care.